Hello and welcome to this episode of the Maverrik podcast. I am Luke Tew. Today I'll be talking about how to find keywords that your target audience actually cares about. Now, when you think about keywords, people think hashtags, people think SEO, and they are right. It is something to do with hashtags and SEOs, but the keywords I'm talking about today, it's going to revolve more around content. It's going to revolve around titles, it's going to revolve around topics which people actually care about and, your target audience will latch onto and care about. And it's how to find those. So if you take keywords into the basic SEO terms, we're talking about the Google search terms that you see. You can use SEMrush or Ahrefs to get a baseline of what people are discussing, the cost per clicks and all the rest of the jargon that we won't go into on the technological side of things. But those are all important to look at. There's a lot of websites dedicated to just finding these keywords and these topics that audiences care about in order to reach those people. So we'll start from square one. We won't go all the way into those side of things. We'll go into exclusively what is the keyword topics that your content should revolve around. Now, I've talked about pain point posting before, and that is finding the pains of your audience. Now, those pains are revolving around certain issues, certain topics, and those can be your keywords. So say we're looking into marketing, maybe there's low engagement. So the keyword topic there would be low engagement. So it's all about, once again, understanding your audience, where they're coming from. And you can use certain tools in order to find more about which topics and which phrases actually matters to your audience. So if you've been posting content for a while now, if you're posting blogs, if you've just been, just looking to see what your audience cares about, you just need to take a look at your analytics, because what your analytics will tell you is those certain posts or certain topics will have keywords in them which your audience related to. Now, you can use hashtags to boost your organic reach. If you're using the right hashtags, it will give you an organic reach boost. But really, it's the keywords inside of your post which will make the difference. Now, this doesn't mean you should be adding every single keyword that your audience cares about in one post, because then you would get content which is very chaotic, very sporadic, and it's, hey, this is all the keywords you care about, right? So get in, and maybe the algorithm will jump on and help you out with that. But that's not really what it's all about. You need to find a certain key phrases or a list of certain key phrases you can use, and then you can create your content from there and just level it out. So when it comes to our own content, our own keywords at Maverrik, what I did originally was go on to the SEMrushes, the Google Analytics, and see which keywords out there in the sales and marketing industry people really cared about. You can see what people really strive for is the high traffic but low competition, and those are quite hard to find in some cases. You'll see trending topics where people are really going after a certain key niche, and you can go into them as well. Work from home was a big one when it came into the start of, we won't go into 2020. Hopefully we're past that now. We can talk about moving forwards. But that trending keyword, working from home, was big in that area. So you do need to do some keyword research. You do need to keep on top of your what's ranking in Google and what the the traffic and the volume is in those trending topics. But when it comes to your content, you can find some keywords which you can use and put into your content that can last you for years to come, because it's all about your niche. It's all about what your audience cares about. So personally, our hashtag, what we really find resonates with a lot of people is getting new clients. Because people at Maverrik here are learning to social sell, they're learning to get more out of their social platforms and actually generating leads and new business from that. And where does new business lead you? It leads you to new clients. So whenever we talk about new clients, a lot of people, they prick their ears and go, oh, I want new clients. And you can do that the same for your audience as well. So if you're in any business or any industry, finding those certain topics which resonate, they're usually the solutions, they're usually the end goal, usually the desired outcome. So those topics really resonate with people and go, yes, I want that. I want the new clients. I want the new business. And to your audience, it's the same of that keyword is, oh yes, I do want this. So like I said before, if you're talking about marketing, it's, oh, I do want more engagement. Oh, I do want more exposure. I do want more people looking at my YouTube videos. And those keywords all around it doesn't have to be one phrase. It can be maybe just a little short sentence, like one or two words, or it can be a phrase. Because keywords aren't just words. They can be phrases as well. A site which I've used before is Ask the People, and that takes a keyword that you understand. So say we put new clients in, it will then put into a whole sentence, a list of questions that you can answer. Now, I actually got our own Maverrik blog to post above or rank above in our blogs above LinkedIn's own website, using a system where I would find out questions that really resonate with people, some trending questions like how do you change your banner, and writing a blog about them, because Google currently is all about content. It's all about providing the most value. So all the keyword stuffing blogs that you see, used to rank really high, they don't exist anymore because they're valuing more sentences rather than more content. And that's what I did. I found questions from those keywords which really mattered to people. And then I just wrote articles about them, provided a lot of value, a lot more value, and went a lot more into it. And that made it rank above. And also because they were actually keywords that people cared about, we got a lot more traffic. One of our main ones currently is how to beat the LinkedIn connection limit, which is a whole other topic in itself. I could probably go into that, or maybe Terry or Dean in a later podcast episode. But let's focus more on the keywords. Let's go back to what I was discussing with finding the right keywords. So where do you, I've already done where you start with that. If you look at the content you've posted, you'll see some keywords might appear, some phrases or words really resonate with people. But you can also do this with your competitions posts. Have a look and see what other people are posting. And if you see a lot of traction on a certain keyword or phrase, you can then delve deeper into that. You can really unpick and understand, okay, what is about these posts which really help people out. Currently, it could be anything from like pop culture, but those trending topics kind of live and die, living on the snake tail. When it comes to news and trending topics like that, you've got a small window of care that people care about. And that's not what you want to look for. You want to look for keywords which will last your business, the length of its content plan. You want to look at those phrases that people care about consistently. So how do you use these keywords in a post? So what we usually do is whatever media we're creating, if it's a document, if it's a page, if it's a video, that keyword will appear in the title. So there is a podcast I put out there probably a few weeks ago now, which is avoiding clickbait titles and finding the right titles for your content. Now that is where your keyword will go. That keyword then is the desired outcome I mentioned in that old podcast. So if you want to see that at the end of this video, I'll link it to you. But yeah, that's where it will go. So it needs to be front and center. It needs to be there. Maybe not like every time the big full word like, oh, hey, this is new client, or hey, this is low engagement. It needs to be there and visible. But it doesn't need to be the main meat of your image or your video. So you need to make sure it's featured enough that people will grasp onto it. But it doesn't always have to be like the main thing. Because if you keyword stuff, like I mentioned before, if you just keep shelling in keywords, people will know what you're doing. They know you're just doing it to draw that crowd. So you want to make sure that what you're doing is creating interest with those keywords without actually just making it all about those keywords all the time, that people think, okay, I know what you're doing. Because people are smart, people know, what you're posting, what it's all about. So you need to talk about the keywords in a way where their outcomes, they work their way in naturally to a post. You can't just shove one in there and hope for the best. So with the compelling, there's a PDF written about compelling titles, which has the desired outcome at the end. Once again, I go into that into the last podcast episode. If you want to see that, go and see that. But yeah, with the keywords and the titles, make sure they blend in naturally into your posting. Even your blog posts as well. Make sure it's all natural how you use them. Of course, you're using them for that engagement. Of course, you're using them to get people interested. But you can do it in a way where it is natural. Thank you again for watching this episode of the Maverrik podcast. If you need any more information, just let me know. My last podcast I mentioned before in this podcast, you can see right there. Hopefully I've done that right. If not, my editor will tell me. And we'll have to change the title cards. But once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like if you like this content. And we will see you next time for the next Maverrik podcast.